You're somebody that tells themselves that they're very confident, but then anytime that you're actually faced with anything difficult in life, you kind of crumble and all of a sudden you feel really insecure in that moment. Or you start to panic and you don't really hold your cool and you're like, I don't get it. Like people usually tell me to become confident, like just to think I'm confident and then just keep telling myself and eventually that's going to happen. That's not really how confidence is built, to be honest with you. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to build like true confidence, get rid of most of those insecurities, and kind of explain to you why the insecurities even happen to begin with. And I'm going to give you actual ways to actionable steps that's going to build confidence over time. And you're actually going to have like that true confidence that you want. You're not going to have to boast or do anything crazy. It's just going to be something natural. And a lot of it, honestly, is mainly just unlearning a lot of bad habits that we've built up over time. First of all, let's quickly go over what confidence is. Confidence is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, aka self-trust. Much confidence means that you actually can trust yourself. It creates the actual confidence. Honestly, the main reason most people tend to be not confident, a little insecure, because your mind actually knows everything about you, right? It's always with you. The way I want you to picture it is your mind, like I'm sure you've probably seen like a SpongeBob episode or any cartoons where they have like a little person inside of their mind or something along those lines. And pretty much they're always there and they're kind of like seeing everything. I'll tell you what most people tend to do. Most people will say something along the lines of like, tomorrow I'm going to go to the gym. Tomorrow I'm going to talk to that girl. I'm gonna talk to that guy. Tomorrow I'm actually gonna start like locking in and start making so much money and oh dude, my life is gonna be great once I start to lock in, right? But your mind deep down inside, it's like, okay, cool. We're gonna do this tomorrow, right? Then the next day comes around and you don't do it. And because you don't do it, your mind keeps score, your mind is keeping track and it's just like, oh, okay, got it. So it's getting in the habit, like it now knows, it's like, all right, dude, you're all cap. You always say you're going to do all these things and you cap every time. So every single time that you start to say all these things, your like mind starts to give you like a side eye. It's just like I know this guy's capping. And because you're constantly doing this over time, your mind is starting to trust you less and less and less. That's why the easiest way to actually build confidence, as simple as it sounds, is literally just do what you say you're going to do. The way I like to think about it is your mind isn't against you. You're not against your mind, like combating it, trying to control it. So your mind literally does what it does, right? It's programmed to keep you alive, do certain things. And honestly, you are the chooser of what you want it to do. The way I want you to visualize it is it's more of like a chess game. It's always like a game of chess with your mind. So just if you want to start building true confidence, say what you're going to do and then do it. I would much rather you just not say anything than tell yourself all these lies of what you're going to do and then not do it, because that would probably be more beneficial for you. If you're not going to go to the gym, don't say you're going to go to the gym. If you're not going to talk to that girl, don't say you're going to talk to that girl. If you're not going to go apply to that job, don't say you're going to apply to the job. Because at the end of the day, the only one that's going to think is a fool. Like it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, right? Forget about that. But at the end of the day, who's going to think you're a fool is your own mind. And then that's where the insecurity breaks in and you're like, crap. Like that's where the insecurity leaks in. And you probably have not noticed that because it's not very commonly talked about. You're often just told to tell yourself good things and then eventually you'll build this confidence. But the way it works is you need to have some kind of emotional conviction that what you're going to do is right. And all conviction just means is a firmly held belief or opinion. So you just want to know, like for example, when I say I'm going to do something, I know I'm going to go do it. And if I don't, I'd rather just not say anything at all. Not because I care about what other people are going to say, like whatever, it doesn't matter. They could think I'm a fool. At the end of the day, it does not really matter. I'd rather not say it because I know if I say I'm going to do something and then I don't do it, my mind is going to know that. And in the past, that is what creates the biggest insecurities in me. When I say I'm not going to be on my phone and then I'm just scrolling on my phone, that is what creates all these insecurities over time. Because I'm giving you very basic examples, but just think about your life and think about all the areas of life that starts to infiltrate. After a while, you're going to start to get good. It's like in the gym. You start off with little reps, but over time, you're going to go ahead and start to build on top of it and get better at it and get better at it and get better at it until eventually you'll have the conviction when you say something. It's a firmly held belief. You're going to say, yeah, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, and then it gets done. And then that's what builds the true confidence. Because the actual action, once it's completed, that actually like further solidifies what you say you're going to do. And it is still important to say good things about yourselves and try to add a little bit of emotion attached to it, because emotion acts as glue and it definitely helps things stick a lot better. Just think about your mental attitude towards whatever you're doing. That's very important to have a positive mental attitude as well. Make sure you're not doing anything you're not supposed to. Let me give you an example. You probably remember like sometime during class, when you're talking to your friend or something along those lines, and then the teacher calls out, the teacher's being a bit of a dick, but he's like, yo, Israel, what are you talking about? Like, would you like to answer this question for the class? And then you're caught off guard because you're doing something you weren't supposed to. You're like, oh, crap. Normally, you probably wouldn't get that insecure or really care. You'd be like, oh, yeah, like, I know the question. Now, number one, because you're not prepared and you didn't do what you say you were going to do, like you pretty much didn't know, that's where that insecurity, that low confidence kind of goes in. And on top of that, because you're doing something you're not supposed to, that also creates another level of insecurity and it catches you off guard. So pretty much like think about that comparison right there versus if you were just sitting in class, you knew the material you were supposed to know and you were doing whatever you were supposed to do. So whenever the teacher actually called on you, you'd feel like comfortable. You'd be like, oh yeah, the answer is B or whatever. Keep that in mind. So if you are gonna do something bad, just remember that like at the end of the day, it's more of just like a mental chess game. So if you are gonna do anything you're not supposed to do, at least be proud of it or at least be like open about it. Don't try to hide it and then have like that little insecurity after for doing something you're not supposed to. It's like, if you know you're going to do something you're not supposed to, you might as well own up to it if you do get caught or anything like that, because that's usually where you're doing something you're not supposed to. That's when the insecurity breaks in and that's when things get awkward. You get insecure because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. I think I'm just going to let you know, just make sure you don't get too in your head about this stuff. Like sometimes, yeah, you're going to do things you're not supposed to do, or yeah, you're going to say something and then not go through with it. Obviously, we're humans, we're not perfect, but just don't get too in your head about it. Because when people start to get too technical in any area of life, like think about it. Do you ever notice that when you're on your like self-improvement grind or when you're on any kind of like very strict regimen, it kind of weakens you a little bit because you think, oh, because I didn't do this, now my day's gonna be bad. Or because I didn't do this, I'm gonna be unconfident. It's like if you do mess up, be like, whatever, I got another chance tomorrow. Don't take it too serious. The best way I can give you an example is like people who need their day to be perfect, right? Like they have to wake up at a certain time, take a cold shower, then after that do their like 10-step skincare routine. After that, go to the gym. You know what I mean? And it's like if they miss even one of those, like they kind of shatter. And just think about your ancestors, like, or some of the most successful people. Do you really think they care that much if they mess up a little thing like their skincare? Like, no, they don't, because they don't think too much about it. Now, they probably do make it a priority because of who they are already. It's like internally already good. They don't let all these little small things affect them that much, because at the end of the day, if you're way too hyper fixated on these little small things, like thinking about it and getting way too much in your head will also be like a little bit too negative. So it's like, make an effort to do as best as you can. If you commit an error, mess up every once in a while, dude, it's okay. Chill out. At the end of the day, you're trying very hard. And as long as you're doing this most of the time, you're still going to get better results than most people. And you're going to start to stack up the confidence. I'm telling you, it's going to start to compound and you're going to be very grateful and very happy with yourself. You're going to be like, dang, yeah, that's me. Because your mind knows, it keeps track. It keeps track whether you know it or not. The subconscious mind is insanely powerful and it just stores all this information like it's data. Again, today what I want you to do is I want you to go and you're just going to live your normal life. If you say you're going to do something, you're going to go and you're going to do it. It's very important that you do it, and you're going to start building over these small habits, and eventually you're going to be able to build them into bigger and bigger and bigger, and your confidence is going to become a lot stronger over time. I'm a doer. Like if you say you're going to do something, do it. I'd rather you not say you're going to do something if you're not going to do it. Just don't even say it, because at the end of the day, your mind is going to keep score. Tell yourself positive things, add a little bit of emotion in there, use it as glue. It's going to stick a lot better. And the cool thing about telling yourself positive things is when you add the action to it, it further solidifies that and creates an even stronger feeling of confidence. Because remember, all confidence is self-trust. Make sure you're able to trust yourself by doing what you say you're gonna do.